Hello, my name is Sunny Mejia from PinoyEspenia. Our topic today is about our vehicle that we drive every day. Please watch, and of course don't forget to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.
Let's all start here at our 12-volt battery, the one and only. Make sure that there is no corrosion on the terminal, and gotta make sure that it's all nice and clean. But of course, let's open our positive side of the battery and also check it out. And also, it shouldn't have any corrosion. It should be like this, as you see, is nice and clean. And if you have any other question about your battery, feel free to drop me a comment on my comment box. Thank you. This is one of the example of a terminal that has a lot of corrosion, and believe me guys, I've seen worse than this. So PM is the key. This is the other place that you need to inspect. These belts are called Serpentine Belt. To inspect this, make sure that it's not oily, no cracks, and of course both sides no cracks. And if you see any kind of crack or oily, have it replaced as soon as possible. This is one of the example that it's getting bad, or maybe worse than that. It is hard to see if the belt is on the pulley, but if you removed it and flipped it and bend it a little bit, you'll see all kind of cracks on the belt. This is the other place that you need to inspect. This particular place, they called it a air filter. This is a must inspect on certain months of a day, and make sure you go through your handbook for your vehicle. And this is your air filter. To inspect this, make sure that there is no debris or any kind of dust that you find. Use a vacuum if you needed to, and make sure that it is not cracked or damaged or even wet. It looks like this filter is usable and it's still nice and clean. Maybe this one will last another 3 months or so, or maybe if you don't use the car that much, it will last you another 6 months. And if you have any brand new, this is the way you install it back. The one with aluminum screen, it goes on top. You can flip this the other way or the right way, it don't matter. As long the filter that you buy, it is gonna be the same model or the same size. You can buy this at the dealer or aftermarket. And of course, I will show you a really bad kind of filter that need to be replaced. This is a must. Now let's go to another place that must be inspected. This is what you call this yellow thing that you see is a dipstick for your oil. This is where you inspect your oil for your engine. To To inspect this, of course you should have a nice and clean rag and pull this dipstick towards you and slowly pull it out, and this is where you see your oil. Now what are we inspecting here? We are inspecting for the cleanliness of our oil and how much oil we have left on the engine. After wiping the dipstick and stick it back to the hole and make sure it's all the way down. Now after you do that, pull it back out again slowly and inspect the oil at this time. On the dipstick itself, you'll see two little holes. One is the max indicator. The one on the end is the minimum indicator. But our oil indicator will be on those two holes. But to our knowledge, it'd be better if it is before the max. But if your oil is below minimum, then have your car inspected, and you maybe have a bigger problem if you don't have any kind of dripping on the bottom. But just to make sure, have the repair shop or a dealer inspect it for you. This is another example of a dip switch that has a low oil and really bad oil. Now we're here at the AC or air conditioning filter. Most car you can find your air conditioning filter at the hood, by the engine, or at your globe compartment. But at this time, this particular vehicle, the air conditioning filter will be on the globe compartment. Now that we know where is the location, we can remove the filter and show you how to remove and replace this. To remove this cover, just slide it up and flip it out, and as you see, you still have another cover for the air conditioning filter, and that's where the lock is for that cover. Just pull it towards you, and of course the same way on the other side, and that white piece is your filter. And to inspect this, make sure that this filter is nice and clean and there is no debris. And sometimes you'll see a dirty Kleenex or napkin on this filter. And again, I seen worst thing that stuck on the filter. I would say this is one of the important also, because all the air that you're breathing inside your car, especially when you're using your air conditioning and your heater, all the air that you breathe inside your car is coming through here. So when you think about it, if these filters are dirty, then the air that you breathe in inside your car will also dirty, and it's not hard to replace this. To put the cover back, it should click on one side, and the same way on other side, push and click. And of course, make sure you inspect everything before you put back the other cover, and make sure you put the cover back tight and snug so there is no rattle when your car is running or you start the car. And like what I told you earlier, you find this on your glove compartment, and this is another example of a AC air filter. Okay, now we're here at your reservoir or your brake fluid. This is where you see the indicator of your minimum indicator and a max indicator of fluid. As you see right here, it's only below the max, and you also see that the oil is very clean. Now, just in case your oil it gets down to this point, I would suggest that don't fill it up. Bring it to the shop first and have them inspected, because there is a reason why before you fill it up. This is another place that must inspect. This is your brake pads, and at this time your brake pads are still kind of thick, and this metal right here is part of your brake pads. And if your brake pads will get thinner, and this metal right here will get closer to the rotor. And of course, not all brake pad has the same thickness. This is one of the reasons why we don't fill up the brake fluids on the reservoir. When your fluid indicator is lower, then also your brake pad is getting thin. I have my brother remove the tire on the vehicle so we can satisfy ourselves and also see what is the difference on the inner brake pads and the outer brake pad. As you see, it's clearly visible where the brake pads and of course our brake pad caliper. And if you remove the wheel, make sure that you of course clean the assembly of your brake pads or brake assembly. Now on this side you can see the inner and outer of the brake pads and part of the assembly of the brake system. Let me point you the brake pad inner assembly, and of course the one that closer to you will be the outer pad assembly, and the one between that is your rotor. So when you go to a mechanic, if they say let's replace your brake pads, then you know which one is your brake pads. Now let's move on and check the pressure of your tire. As you see, our tire pressure is between 29 and 30. Now, how do we know that? You can find these numbers on your booklet that comes with your vehicle, or you can research this online. Or I can show you the easiest way. It's by the door on your driver's side, and this is where you see this sticker, and this sticker has the info of your front and rear pressure of your tire. This information on the tire that you see, this is only for the information for this particular tire. It tells you what is the maximum load and what is the maximum pressure of the tire.
Now that you know the basic about your vehicle, congratulations. And if you like this kind of video, give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you again.